Welcome to YALSA Academy, the Young Adult Library Services Association's professional development project that supports excellent services to young adults. Find more of our continuing education opportunities at www.ala.org/YALSA.
Subtext has some of the same features as the Kindle app does, but what Subtext allows you to do is to have a social experience inside a book. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how that works and talk a little bit about why you might want to experience that with your colleagues, with your friends, and perhaps with and for the teens in your community. Here I am on my main screen. I'm logged into Subtext, and you see these are the books. If you look here, these are the different books that I have either started reading, because it says go read right here in the matched. I have purchased Freak Observer from Google Books. Someone else asked me to read Girl in Translation with them. And then this is just the user guide that comes with this, what comes with Subtext. Now look at the bottom of each of the book items. You see this social? The social, if you look at each of those, is how you can invite other people to read a book with you or see who is reading a book with you. So let me show you that on the next screen. I just selected social from that previous screen, and what you're seeing here is a chance for me to invite other people to read this book with me. And when they read it with me, that we can have discussions inside the book and share notes with each other and things like that. So you see here, these are two people who are in my Subtext social group that I could invite. And over here on the right side, it gives you text, but I could change that text if I wanted to, and I could select them and invite. But also notice down here at the bottom, I can look up my Subtext friends, find Facebook friends, or email people and ask them to read this book with me. So I ask other people to read a book with me, and when we read it together, I'll show you what happens next. Here I am on page 13, I can tell down here, of matched, and I can tell I'm in matched up there, and I have highlighted text that I thought was interesting on page 13. And when I highlight it, it says add note, just like in the Kindle app, and it also gives me the ability to search, and I'll show you that as well. But what happens when I add a note? When I click on add note, my keyboard pops up, and I can type in a note inside the note box. And then notice a couple of things here. One is that I can decide who gets to see this note. So when I invite friends to read with me, if I want friends to see this note, then they will see it by clicking on friends. If I want everyone in Subtext to see the note, then I can click on everyone. And if I just want this note to be for me, then I can make it private. That is really great. The idea that you can share comments and notes inside a book while you're reading it with teens, teens can share them with you, or teachers and teens or teens and each other can write comments to each other inside a book is extremely powerful, and that's a feature that we're going to be seeing more and more of. Now notice a couple of other things here. Notice that there is a chance to mark a note as a spoiler alert. And if a note is a spoiler alert, that means that people will see that notation, and before they open it, they can decide whether or not they want to. Have they gotten to this part and beyond? So maybe it's okay to open the note. But if not, then perhaps they don't want to do it. Now, when you're done with your note, you can actually publish it. And I want to show you a couple other things, because on the left, you'll notice there's different kinds of notes. But what are those? I'll show you that next. This screen just shows very quickly that you can add a question. So if you want to ask the people you're reading with a question, you can ask that question and they can reply to it. You can actually add a poll, and let me show you that. You can add a poll, and so you can type in a question and then insert possible answers, and the poll will update and people will be able to see that. Or you can add a quiz. And so again, you can type in a question and provide answers for people to use, to select from. Again, with all of these, it can be for everyone, for friends, for yourself. Probably a quiz or a poll you wouldn't do for yourself unless you were drafting it. You can edit these at any time. So if you start by making a private note, you can then make it for friends. There's just all these features that really get you thinking, I hope, and help you to think about teens reading, about what happens while they're reading and how they can interact with content with others while they're doing that reading. When a note is added in the book, the person who the note is visible to, yourself, the reader, and who's ever shared it with, sees the icons on the right. And then when you click on one of those icons, you get this window that pops up. And this is where you can reply to a note. So if someone is reading, they can click on the icon, they can read the note, and then they can reply now. And they can also see the whole thread when you click on reply now. So you can have, again, a discussion in the book. Just so you know, if you create the, you can ignore a discussion if you would like as a reader, and you can also mark things as read. Those are just some of the social features that are in Subtext. Now, I did mention that I wanted to show you the search, so I'm going to show you that for just a second, and that is next. In many e-readers, it's possible to search inside the book, and when you highlight a word, like I highlighted suit on page 10 of the book, I see when I do that, I can click on search, and then I will get every time that suit appears in the book. This is common in many different e-readers, not just the Subtext e-reader. And then I could click on any of these and actually see where that text is on that page. Lots of different features that are possible for you to think about considering and helping teens consider when they're thinking about the apps and the e-reading tools that they're going to use on their devices. Not all e-reading apps are the same, and you'll want to take a look at Subtext for social reading, and Copia and Kobo and Inkling also provide social reading, and then Kindle for more traditional, and Nook for more traditional reading experiences in an app.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out more of our videos at YALSA Academy.